Most people don't struggle with money because they earn too little. They struggle because they were never taught how money really works. And here's the dangerous part. Every year you don't understand this. Money quietly controls your life. Have you ever experienced this moment? Payday arrives. Your balance finally looks reassuring. And for a brief second you feel safe. You tell yourself, this month will be different. I'll manage better. I'll save something. But a few days later, the familiar pattern begins. Small expenses, impulsive purchases, unexpected bills, and suddenly, before the month is even halfway through, the money is almost gone. The most painful part isn't seeing your balance drop. It's the quiet frustration that follows. You work hard, you try your best, yet you keep ending up in the same place. Month after month, hope at the beginning, anxiety at the end. You start wondering if something is wrong with you. Maybe you're just bad with money. Maybe financial freedom is only for other people. Here's a truth that might shock you. Most people in this situation are not poor. Their income isn't low. In fact, many of them earn enough to live comfortably. The real problem isn't how much they make. It's that no one ever taught them how to keep money once it comes in. Money slips away silently, like water through open fingers, until stress becomes a permanent part of life. From a young age, we are taught to focus on earning more, get a better job, work harder, chase higher income, and while earning matters, it's only half of the equation. That's why so many people get raises yet feel even more financial pressure. Their income grows, but so do their expenses, their worries, and their dependence on the next paycheck. One unexpected event is enough to knock everything down. Meanwhile, there are people who earn less but sleep peacefully at night. They have savings, they have control, they are not constantly afraid of the end of the month. The difference isn't luck, it isn't intelligence, it's a skill, the ability to manage and keep money. If you can't keep money, you will always be chasing it. You'll run faster but stay in the same place. You'll trade your time and energy just to fix the problems caused by poor financial habits. And no matter how much you earn, peace will always feel out of reach. Welcome to Financial Awakening. If this message resonates with you, it's because something inside you already knows that your financial life needs to change. This channel exists to help you see money differently, to understand why it disappears, and to show you how small changes in thinking can completely transform your future. If you're ready to wake up your financial awareness, subscribe to Financial Awakening now. Your support allows this channel to continue creating content that helps you regain control, confidence, and clarity around money. Before we continue, take a moment to reflect. What worries you more right now? Not earning enough money, or not knowing where your money keeps going? Share your answer in the comments and let's start this conversation together. There is a truth many people try to avoid, because it makes them uncomfortable. Most financial pain does not come from earning too little, but from living without a system. Money does not disappear by accident. It leaves your hands through hundreds of small decisions every day, decisions you rarely make consciously. And it is this lack of awareness that quietly erodes your future. Think about any typical month. Your salary arrives, and you feel relief. You allow yourself to spend a little more freely, because you believe you deserve it. Yet you have no clear picture of where the money is actually going. One meal out, one item bought because it was on sale, one small subscription quietly charging you every month. Each expense seems reasonable on its own, but together they create a gap you cannot explain. And when you cannot explain it, you cannot control it. This is the core problem. You're letting money control your behavior instead of you controlling money. Without structure, money always follows emotion. You spend when you are happy. You spend when you are stressed. You spend to comfort yourself when life feels heavy. Over time, you realize that you are no longer working to build a life. You're working just to patch the holes you created yourself. The real danger is not the balance in your bank account. It is the feeling of losing control. You begin to fear unexpected situations. You feel anxious every time your phone shows a payment notification. You stop thinking long-term, because the present already feels overwhelming. Slowly, you lose the ability to dream about the future. Because every dream comes with the same question: how can I afford this? People who escape this cycle are not stingy or obsessed with deprivation. They simply understand how to put money in order. They clearly separate what is necessary for survival, what is meant for the future, and what is allowed for enjoyment. When every dollar has a role, money stops being a source of stress. It becomes a tool, not a threat. Change begins the moment you pause and admit that your current way of handling money is not working. Not to blame yourself, but to wake up. Because only when you face the truth do you gain the power to change it. Keeping money is not about restricting your life. It is about protecting yourself from the uncertainties of life. If you do not build financial discipline, life will eventually teach it to you in much harsher ways, through pressure, debt, and dependence. But if you start today, simply by creating structure in your cash flow, you are laying the first brick for a life that is more stable, more calm, and ultimately more free. There is a truth many people are not ready to face, no matter how well you manage your money. If your income stays the same, pressure will eventually catch up with you. Life does not stand still. Prices rise, responsibilities grow, expectations increase, and if your income remains fixed while everything else moves forward, financial stress becomes inevitable. Many people believe that saving harder is the ultimate solution. But saving alone only helps you survive, it does not help you progress. There is a limit to how much you can cut. You cannot reduce forever. You cannot live your entire life in constant restraint, calculating every expense, telling yourself that, this is enough. That is not financial mastery. That is quiet self-limitation. The reality is this: if you truly want to escape the cycle of running out of money before the month ends, you must learn how to increase your income. Not by exhausting yourself, and not by sacrificing your health or personal life, but by increasing your value. Income grows when value grows. And value grows through learning, skill, and perspective. Look honestly at the path ahead. When you are young and single, financial demands may seem manageable, but life changes quickly. Marriage, children, family responsibilities, unexpected events, each adds weight. If your entire financial life depends on a single income stream, you are placing your future on fragile ground. One disruption, job loss, illness, economic downturn, and everything becomes unstable. People who think long-term do not ask, how can I save a little more this month? They ask, how can I become more valuable next year than I am today? Because higher income does not only bring more money, it brings freedom. Freedom to rest without fear. Freedom to say no to situations that drain you. Freedom to make choices instead of reacting to pressure. We live in a time where opportunities to earn more are everywhere, if you are willing to learn. Knowledge, skills, experience, communication, problem solving, these are assets. You do not need to quit your job or take reckless risks. You can start small, learn a new skill, build a side income, create something that reduces your dependence on a single paycheck. And something powerful happens when your income comes from real value. You stop feeling guilty when you spend. You stop living with constant anxiety around money. Spending no longer feels like loss, it feels earned. Money transforms from a source of fear into a reflection of growth. If you only learn how to save, you will always be defending yourself. But when you learn how to earn more, you move from defense to control. You stop reacting to financial pressure and start shaping your own direction. That shift changes everything, not just your bank account, but your confidence, your mindset, and the way you see your future. Financial freedom does not begin with money. It begins with the decision to grow beyond who you are today. And income is simply the result of that growth. Many people work hard their entire lives and still never move forward financially. Not because they are lazy, but because their money is never allowed to work. They save, they protect. They fear losing what they have so much that their money stays frozen. And while they believe they are being safe, inflation quietly drains the value of every dollar they worked so hard to earn. The deepest pain is not losing money, it is watching time pass while your assets stand still. Years go by, energy fades, responsibilities grow, yet your financial position barely changes. You still depend entirely on your labor. If you stop working, money stops flowing. This dependency is a trap most people do not realize they are in until they are already exhausted by it. Investment is often misunderstood as a game for the wealthy or risky gamble for the reckless. Because of this misunderstanding, many people avoid it completely, or worse, approach it blindly. They chase fast profits, follow trends they do not understand, and leave the market hurt and disappointed. From that experience, they conclude that investing is dangerous. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. The biggest risk is not investing, it is never investing at all. When your money does nothing, your future becomes heavier. You must work longer, harder, and with greater anxiety. Investment, when done correctly, is not about luck or speed. It is about patience, knowledge, and consistency. Money can only work for you when it has a system. Small, regular investments made over time are far more powerful than occasional large decisions driven by emotion. Compound growth does not need excitement. It needs time, and time rewards those who are disciplined enough to stay committed when nothing seems to be happening. Many people say they will invest when they have more money. But readiness never arrives on its own. If you wait to feel comfortable, you will wait forever. Investing is not a destination, it is a habit. Starting early does not require wealth. It requires intention. When you begin early, you buy yourself time, and time is the one asset no amount of money can replace. The moment money starts generating money, even in small amounts, your mindset shifts. You stop seeing money as something to consume and start seeing it as something to grow. You become more patient, more strategic, more intentional. That shift alone separates those who struggle financially from those who gradually gain control. Escaping the cycle of running out of money before the month ends requires more than earning and saving. It requires building systems where money works even when you rest. This path is not fast, and it is not glamorous, but it is the most sustainable road to financial freedom, a freedom built not on effort alone, but on understanding. There is one mistake that keeps many people financially anxious. Even after they learn how to save, earn, and invest, they rely on a single source of income. They build their entire life around one paycheck and convince themselves that as long as it continues, everything will be fine, but no income stream is permanent. When you depend on only one source of money, you hand over your future to circumstances you do not fully control. Companies change, industries disappear, health declines, economic cycles shift. One unexpected event is enough to collapse everything you have built. And when that happens, the damage is not only financial, it strikes your confidence, your freedom, and your ability to choose. The deepest fear is not low income. It is feeling trapped. Trapped in a job you no longer believe in. Trapped in decisions made purely out of financial necessity. Trapped in situations you tolerate because walking away feels too dangerous. This is the hidden cost of dependency. And many people pay it for decades without realizing why they feel exhausted and unfulfilled. Building multiple income streams does not mean doing everything at once or chasing risky ventures. It begins with a shift in mindset. You start asking better questions. What value can I create beyond my main job? What skills do I already have that others need? What experiences can I turn into solutions? What am I doing with my free time that could be transformed into something more meaningful than consumption? The moment you create a second or third source of income, even a small one, your psychology changes. You stop panicking when one stream slows down. You negotiate with more confidence. You make decisions with clarity instead of fear. Money stops being a constant threat and becomes a stabilizing force. People who achieve long-term financial stability are not those who earn the most in a single moment. They are the ones who patiently build systems that produce income over time. They do not chase short-term excitement. They create multiple small flows, knowing that if one weakens, others will continue to support them. This approach also changes how you live. When fear no longer controls your finances, it stops controlling your choices. You can invest in learning. You can contribute to others. You can plan long-term instead of reacting to emergencies. Financial freedom is not about having endless money. It is about removing money from the center of every decision. If you want a life that feels stable, flexible, and aligned with who you truly are, you must stop thinking like someone waiting for a paycheck and start thinking like someone building a system. One income stream allows survival. Multiple streams create security. A well-built income system creates freedom. And freedom, once tasted, changes the way you see everything. When you step back and look at the full picture, one truth becomes clear. Financial struggle is rarely about luck, talent, or how hard you work. It is about systems. People who constantly run out of money are not broken or incapable. They are simply living without structure, without intention, and without a long-term perspective. Money problems often begin quietly. A lack of planning, emotional spending, dependence on a single income, fear of investing, avoidance of learning. None of these decisions feel dangerous in the moment. But over time, they compound into stress, limitation, and a life driven by necessity instead of choice. That is why so many people feel exhausted even when they are doing everything they were told was right. The deeper lesson here is this: financial freedom is not built by one big move. It is built by small, consistent decisions made with awareness. Learning to keep money gives you stability. Learning to earn more gives you growth. Learning to invest gives you leverage. Learning to build systems gives you freedom. Each step alone is incomplete, but together they change the direction of your life. The most powerful shift happens internally. When you stop seeing money as something that controls you and start seeing it as a tool you manage. When fear is replaced with clarity. When reaction is replaced with strategy. At that moment, money stops being a source of anxiety and becomes a source of possibility. Applying this to your life does not require perfection. It requires honesty. Start where you are. Track your spending. Create simple rules. Invest in learning. Build one additional stream of income. Be patient with progress, but strict with consistency. Over time, these actions reshape not only your finances, but your confidence and your sense of control. Financial awakening is not about becoming rich overnight. It is about waking up to the truth that your future is shaped by what you do repeatedly, not occasionally. And the earlier you wake up, the more time works in your favor. Before we end, here is a simple question for you. What is the one financial habit you know you need to change first? Please share your answer in the comments so others can learn from your perspective. And if this video helped you see money differently, consider subscribing to Financial Awakening to support the channel and stay with us for more content that helps you build clarity, stability, and long-term freedom.